Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Steelbook edition of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Paramount. It can be found as a standard slipcover edition as well as a Steelbook, both available at various online retailers. Now, what can I say about this movie? It is iconic. It's got a solid place in pop culture. I mean, really, this movie I could talk about for hours. I mean, it's highly quotable. It's got great characters. I mean, Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller is probably one of the most memorable of all time. And of course, the vision and writing and direction of the legendary John Hughes. Really, it's a voice of the 80s, but it does have a timeless feel in no matter what movie he has put out. If you're around my age, you no doubt have I would say, a good fondness for the film. And if you are a John Hughes fan, this is easily in your top 3, no doubt about it. I go back to this one at least once or twice a year. It's just a fun movie. It is. It clocks in at just over an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes or so, and it's just something you go back to frequently. I enjoy it a lot, and I know you do too. I do want to hear about your experiences with the film in the comments below. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the non-exclusive Steelbook edition of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. One of the things that kind of bothers me is his hair part is on the other side, but, you know, it's whatever. But it's just one of those things. But overall, it's fine. Yeah, it's just, you got to deal with it. And then we have the back and the spine. And we have an interior artwork on the case. Paramount, it's just a blank disc. But yeah, that's a iconic image. But overall, really solid offering. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Ferris Bueller's Day Off on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio, native 4K resolution, and graded with both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Now, the film was reportedly given a 4K restoration, but no further details were given as to the source used. Whatever it was, the movie has arguably never looked better. Grain structure looks nicely resolved, and the million-dollar question I'm sure you're asking is if Paramount has applied any form of DNR. In past releases such as Fatal Attraction or using another John Hughes comedy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the answer was yes, and by God, did it look horrible. I suspect in the case of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, if there was any management applied, it's minimal and unobtrusive. Unless you are a hardened viewer with a sensitivity to all things DNR related, the casual viewer would be hard-pressed to notice if something was off. Paramount's trigger-happy DNR tech was thankfully nowhere near this project. As for the picture itself, it appears to be clean from most blemishes or source imperfections. There was definitely some care and attention given to cleaning up the picture, which one only has to go back to the existing Blu-ray to see the differences. Details across the board look quite striking, giving textures that much added depth and definition. Clothing looks really good here, as do the many close-ups throughout the film. If there was, in fact, any kind of management applied to the 4K, it certainly didn't scrub out any perceivable uptick in textures. The 80s era Chicago setting really benefits from the HDR Dolby Vision grading. Colors all around enjoy a nice boldness, the beautiful red of Cameron's father's Ferrari, the era-specific clothing, and once again, the various locations within Chicago are nicely realized. Skin tones are strong and healthy, and occasionally visual flourishes such as signage give off a nice pop. Black levels are well rendered. Since there are no night scenes to speak of during the film, it's up to the darker interiors such as Cameron's bedroom to show off what they can really do, and they do so nicely. Shadow detail is on point, and I didn't notice any signs of crush. Surprisingly, Paramount has graced this 4K release of the film with an upgraded Dolby Atmos audio mix. This being an 80s era comedy, you would think it would be one of the last to benefit from an audio upgrade, but here it is, and I do think it works. Now keep in mind, the new Dolby Atmos upgrade doesn't exactly reinvent the wheel, and it's best to keep your expectations in check, but I still think you'll be pleased overall with the results. The audio from the film does feel a bit more opened up here with the additional speaker placements available, and it occasionally makes for an entertaining experience. Those with height speakers will find just some light complementary ambience here and there. When the garage guys are driving the Ferrari and it jumps over the camera, it makes for a fun effect. Mid-level and rear speakers are also light on activity, but when the audio cues do kick in, it's noticeable and appreciated. The parade sequence and the final fate of the Ferrari are some highlights. The front of the room is where the bulk of the action takes place, and the sound design is solid here. Dialogue comes through clean with no issues to speak of, and the front speakers handle the respective audio well. The low end is largely dormant, only kicking on for a few key moments during the film, such as when Ferris first drives the Ferrari, but considering it's a comedy, this shouldn't come too much of a surprise to you. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Ferris Bueller's Day Off on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A. Thankfully, Paramount did this film justice with a solid offering in the picture department. The color palette is nicely enriched with Dolby Vision, and the clarity of the picture can be chalked up to the restoration efforts given. I do highly recommend the film. It will probably never look better than it does here. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one an A-. The Dolby Atmos audio upgrade is a welcome addition to this classic 80s comedy. Nothing in the film suggests this will be a game changer audio-wise, but it's great to have nice clarity and more open soundstage, and the overall presentation is very clean. I do think most listeners will be happy with the results. So that is my review of Ferris Bueller's Day Off on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link for both the slipcover and Steelbook in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.